something that I just can't understand the way I behave. Some people you can never save. In my right hand, got a girl on my ear, and on my left hand, throwing back a beer. What can I say, amigo?
If you remember, like I said, you guys had finally at 3 o'clock in the morning gone home to sleep. The big deal was that Volt had gotten a letter delivered underneath his door from Anastasia inviting him to lunch at Hotel Provincial. And that's where we are. Everybody back at their... you and Della were going to fort up
over
together and just in case there was any problems.
The Devil Man came
Yeah.
Yes, and I wanted to get everybody's badges
All right.
so I could re-armor them.
Yeah, so we gave you the badges to re-armor. I will set up a threshold at her house for the night.
You guys are having a sleepover. You got a letter. You went home. You went home, right? And that was after giving up the staff to Gabriel Beaumont.
Yeah, he went home.
Yeah. So, next morning, I figure probably most of you sleep in a little bit because you were out late. It is Wednesday morning, I believe.
We have done a lot.
Yes, you have. Well, you remember that Terrence's funeral was only on Monday. Your first attempt to catch the Devil Man was on the Monday after Terrence's funeral. On Tuesday, on Tuesday. Well, I'm sorry, it's Thursday, isn't it? On Tuesday, you had gone and actually killed the Devil Man. Last night was Wednesday, so this is Thursday morning. Sorry, there we go. Yeah, Thursday morning. Trying to keep all this straight in my head.
So we did release the Devil Man from the Suleiman staff. Did we do?
Yes. As far as you know.
As far as you know.
We attempted to put
He won't know where it is, but I don't know
sure.
if that means he's dead now
Yeah, exactly.
or...
Which night? So, I'm sorry. Monday night, Terrence's funeral. Tuesday night, we attempted...
Tuesday night, you actually killed the Devil Man.
Killed the Devil Man.
Wednesday night, you got attacked by ghouls.
Wednesday night, what was the night where we went to the bar with all of the flying?
That was Tuesday
That
night.
was Devil Night morning.
Same as
Yeah,
the
you
Devil
killed
Man.
the Devil Man. You were celebrating at the bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you were actually celebrating at the Rum House, and then the girl called you guys to come back
So
to
that was
Muriel's
also Tuesday.
because you'd been there Monday early evening before you went out on your first hunting mission. So yeah.
Okay.
I feel like we need a little calendar here.
I know.
Dude, a lot has happened in less than a week.
That's right. You guys
That's
have
why we all
only
slept
been
in.
technically playing game time for about a week.
Yeah.
I think Terrence showed up on Thursday night for you, actually. So it's been exactly 1 week since you actually... Yeah, I know.
It's been...
1
week
week.
since Terrence showed up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Since a ghost appeared. Yeah.
1 week since the spooky shit.
Such a throw a
All right.
microwave at me.
So, Thursday morning, dawn's probably later for most of you, because again, like I said, you were up pretty late. The only people you probably got in by about 1, but still pretty late.
Yeah.
First person up, who would that be?
I feel like I would be sleeping in a little bit this time.
Yeah, I'm sleeping. I'm probably going to sleep till 11.
Okay.
I'll be the first person up.
Okay, you're the first person up.
Yeah, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
You have a busy day.
You've gotten everything taken care of on
I
your.
don't have to sleep very much.
That's right. You really don't actually. You have Inhuman
Recovery.
Which
I can go like a full day
without sleeping. That's right.
Yeah, so I figure I don't have to get too many hours. So.
Yeah, you're pretty rested up. Even after just 4 or 5 hours, you're good.
Yeah.
You've cleaned everything up in your warehouse, so you're ready to, I guess, move on to the next phase.
Yeah, so I guess then I'll go to Lowe's, and I'm gonna buy lots and lots of hoses.
Okay.
And
You get resources 3. They're not very expensive. Yeah.
And get like a nice little craftsman's box of like wrenches and drills and drill bits or whatever. Yeah, so I can set up the lair with defenses.
Now, next question is, do you have craftsmanship?
I do not, but I know a guy.
You know a guy. Okay. All right. Well, you can hire a... Well, that's true. That's true. You do know a guy.
I know a guy.
You know a guy. All righty. So you get a bunch of tools.
You looking for some money?
Yeah, well, he does have resources. You make a little money there.
Questionable acquaintances.
That's right. Yep.
You're going to offer him money?
Yeah.
I just use this kitchen and sandwiches.
food. Food seems right too. So you've gone to Lowe's. It probably takes you maybe an hour to locate all the stuff you want from there. It doesn't take very long at all. You pay for it with your, debit card or cash or whatever you want to use, and you're good to go. Head back to the warehouse, yeah?
Yeah. And I'm gonna begin well, I guess I don't know if that does craftsmanship or not, but just kind of tacking or zip tying the hoses to the rims, the kind of perimeter of the warehouse on the inside.
All right.
And then put a little bit on the outside facing outward. Basically what I want to do is I want to drill these little holes in the hoses.
Yeah.
Hook it up to my water supply or something, or some kind of pump. And when I turn a valve, it just trickles slowly water to fill up about maybe an inch.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so I can, if people come in unwanted, I hit this valve. After a couple of minutes, I can lightning the floor and everybody just gets cooked.
You probably just buy soaker hoses or stuff like that in the garden supply
Okay.
area. Yeah, for sure. No problem at all doing that. You don't need craftsmanship for that. That's pretty easy. Yeah, I mean, you get a +0. Everybody's considered, if you don't have a skill, you're considered to be level 0.
I've got YouTube, right?
Exactly. Well, you know how to, I'm pretty sure you know how to use a zip tie. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Sure. So you start putting the hoses around there. You get a lot of soaker hoses. Probably halfway through the thing, you have to go back to Lowe's because that's how it works. You either need more zip ties or more hoses or something. There is a faucet on the outside of the warehouse. Do you want to see if you can find one on the inside?
Yes.
All right. You search around a little while on the inside. There is some water. It's got running water and things like that. You do find in one of the back corners that there is a faucet. You turn it on. Water comes out. Looks like it's pretty good. You may have to check in to make sure the water gets turned on and actually make sure.
Maybe I'll get my craftsmanship guy to make me a better valve.
Okay.
I was gonna say, does your warehouse have a sprinkler system?
Probably not, actually.
That would be cool, but then they would know.
Right.
Because they get baptized in the sprinkler. I want a slow little trickle.
There's actually probably a sprinkler system in the office, but that's probably the only place it's located. This warehouse is kind of old, kind of run down. There's no actual fire suppression system in it because it's just.
Because I just keep thinking those the sprinklers people put out for their yards. They have the little one that just goes back and forth big fan and stuff.
Oh.
If you just had it on your walls or on the ceiling, just turn it over.
There you go. All these
Could
things.
fill them with holy water too.
That's gonna
That'd be a lot of holy water.
Yeah, that's gonna be a little trickier.
I don't think you can get that.
You maybe want to hang a few balloons from the ceiling, but that's about all you're gonna want to do.
Most I can get is a couple miles.
That might be a little tough, but yeah, you can definitely set up the soaker hoses and hook it up to the faucet, and it's ready to go. I don't know if you want to do any kind of remote turn on kind of thing. That might take a little more craftsmanship to do, but
I don't want to have to walk over, bend over, twist it, and reveal my plan.
Right.
It'd be cool. A remote, that'd be cool.
So you got to talk to your craftsmanship guy about
I got
that.
it on my watch. I just check my watch and tap the button, and
So there you go.
Remember, this is
Kind of sounds like
2010.
you're building a
And?
lair.
We had that technology in 2010.
Did we?
Sure.
I'm sure you did. Well, they have technology where you can have the timers and stuff like that, and so I'm sure the
wow.
craftsmanship guy could probably get a couple Arduinos and some
well,
stuff.
I was gonna
like
say
that.
at that point,
I'll just
I
carry
know
a
we
remote
had at
around
least
with me
garage
if
door
anything.
openers.
Yeah,
and if we can do
I'll do
that.
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
He can bodge it
I'll
together.
just duct tape
I'll say,
that
I
to
think
my
it's
watch. Nobody will ever know.
Yeah, you don't have an Apple
Right
Watch.
next to your beeper.
Yeah, right. You better have an Apple Watch, but you could probably at least have a remote upstairs right next to your remote to your TV where you could hit the button and do it.
Okay, yeah.
For sure.
I feel like I could use magic to kind of Orc Boys style,
Yeah.
happen.
There you go. All right, so this takes you probably till about 11 o'clock. You're kind of dirty and sweaty. Lunch is generally around noon. You may want to get cleaned up if you're planning to go meet Anastasia.
I guess I will.
All right. You go up. There's a bathroom downstairs. You get kind of showered up, cleaned, things like that. It's actually kind of a dingy little bathroom. You're thinking to yourself, the first thing that I'm going to do is get this thing cleaned up because it's an old bathroom from a warehouse. A couple stalls. you're kind of like, I don't really need stalls in my bathroom anymore. So you're thinking, you got a guy who does craftsmanship.
I could have an awesome master bathroom now.
You could. The only problem is right now you're gonna have to put in a bedroom as well because right now you're kind of sleeping upstairs on the
like the office,
the futon or whatever. Yeah, but you get cleaned up. What are you gonna wear your leather jacket, black pants, hold on to all the black regalia,
the classic all black.
All right.
But how fancy is this restaurant?
It's in the Hotel Provincial. It's casual. Well, okay, you could go in there and eat with jeans. Nobody really care. So.
Would overdressing with black slacks and...
Nah, that'd be fine. You could probably get away with black jeans for all that matter. I mean, as long as they're clean and nice. Don't have holes in them.
Let's do like black slacks, a black vest with a black button up.
Okay, there you go. You can do that.
And have like a little red handkerchief, little pocket, whatever that is thing.
No jacket or anything like that?
No jacket.
Nah, yeah, I think it'd go better without the jacket. I'm with
and then
you.
I put the shades on and walk in like that.
All right, you head out to the Impala, get in, start her up, open the gate, roll out, close the gate behind you, and chain it closed, and then head towards Hotel Provincial. It's not very far. It's maybe 15 minutes, and you get there. There's valet parking. You can probably use if you want. There's also a parking lot inside there that you could also use, but you have to drive around until you can find a spot.
I'll use valet.
Okay. You go to the valet, tell him you're going to the restaurant. He says make sure you get your verification inside so that they don't charge you for the parking, and then he takes the keys and drives the Impala. You notice when he gets in, he seems to approve of the car. He's a young guy, maybe in his 17 or 18, something like that. He's kind of looking around going, nice car. And you go into the restaurant. The restaurant is kind of got French provincial decoration. It's kind of rustic, but at the same time the cushions the chairs have cushions in them. The tablecloths or the cloths on the table are kind of this nice white, and they've got this yellow checked pattern laid across it, so they've got two cloths. There's a nice bouquet of flowers. They're just kind of wildflowers or something like that. You realize, okay, maybe this isn't a really really fine restaurant, but it seems kind of a little more casual. You see all kinds of people in there. Probably a lot of them are staying at the restaurant. Old people, young people, sitting at a table. There's several empty tables. You're gonna scan around and see if you see Anastasia.
Yeah.
You do not see her. The maitre d', front of the house, asks you, table for one. Do you have a reservation?
Yeah, meeting Anastasia Malvara.
Yes, she made a reservation. I'll take you to the table. She's not here yet, but I'll go ahead and get you seated, and we'll get you something to eat. So you go in and you sit. The table's nice. They ask you if you want water, what you want to drink, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Did you arrive on time?
Absolutely.
See, that's the problem. You didn't arrive fashionably late.
Yeah.
Well, that's so I can
Get the lay of the land.
what is it? That and I'm gonna order her a Bloody Mary because she's a vampire. So I'm gonna have that ready for when she comes in.
They really don't drink blood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're white cord, right?
Yeah, they just feed off of emotions.
No, he gonna do that to assert dominance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what?
With
She's
that.
a vampire. That's what it was. I wasn't doing it as a nice thing. I was doing it as like, fucking vampire.
All right. You sit down. What you gonna have a beer or something like that?
Yeah, I'll order a beer.
Okay. They bring you over some bread and some nice fresh crock. Fresh butter in a crock. The bread is like little baguettes. It's nice French bread that when you start to cut into it, it goes, like the good French bread. And you're like, okay, man, they got some good food here. You just grabbed a roll, put it on one of those little plates, and cut it in half, and are starting to put butter in it. And in walks this absolutely beautiful woman in a black dress, and you recognize this is Anastasia. She is absolutely drop dead gorgeous. She's got long black hair straight down her back. She's wearing kind of this low, kind of backless dress in the back. And
Did she walk in from the sun?
Yeah.
No problem?
Yeah, they don't have any problem with sun. It's black court that has problems.
Okay,
With sun. Yeah,
alright.
white court's fine with it. Yeah.
So I have no clue.
Yeah,
Okay.
she
guys.
comes walking in, immediately sees you at the table, but goes over to the maitre d' and says something. The maitre d' smiles really nicely at her, walks over to the table and pulls out the chair for her. She sits down, sees the Bloody Mary.
I just give her a smirk.
She chuckles and says, "Not really a vodka girl. I tend to be more whiskey oriented. But hey, what the heck? You're in the South. Bloody Mary's fine with me." The Bloody Mary has got all this bacon and shrimp and celery and stuff in it. Yeah, it's
That's
huge.
too much.
It's a monster, right? But she takes the shrimp
an
out.
entree.
Each one takes the shrimp out. Looks like she's gonna bite it, and she says, "Well, I'd say introductions are in order, but we've met once before, and I think we got off on the wrong foot. So I wanted to introduce myself formally. My name is Anastasia Malvora. You are."
Volt Kruger.
"Nice to meet you, Volt. Like I said,
I extend a hand.
yeah." And she shakes your hand. She does the little, the girly handshake thing.
I'll kiss it then instead.
Okay, you can do that. Sure. Did she kiss it?
That's a fancy thing.
She looks at you and she kind of goes, "Old school, old world, interesting." She says, "But like I said, I thought we got off onto the wrong foot, and I wanted to see if we could maybe start again. My friends and I, my family and I, are new to the city of New Orleans, and we just were kind of wanting to get the lay of the land, find out how things are, see what kind of troubles or problems we can avoid. And obviously, we ran into you, and we would like to avoid problems with you. So let's eat, and we can discuss what we can do to make this better." Guy brings over menus. There's steaks, seafood, typical Cajun fare, a few other French dishes, escargot and some things like that. It doesn't sound exciting, but yeah. What are you gonna order?
Yeah, I guess I'll just order a steak, ribeye or something.
She orders, Cajun fare, basically étouffée, and the maitre d' takes the menus off, and she takes one of the shrimp, eats it, and she goes, "Oh, this is actually really good. Like I said, I'm not much of a vodka girl, but this is a pretty good Bloody Mary." And she says, "So, my family and I are staying here at the hotel. That's why I asked you to meet us here. And I know where you live. What brings you to New Orleans?"
Spread my wings, you could say. Learning more about the world.
She says, "Wings. That's the really intriguing thing about you. Obviously, you have wings and can fly.
Can't you?
No, not at all. I can jump really high. Pretty good in a fight, and faster than most mortals. But like court vampires, that's what we do." And she says, "I tend to feed on fear, as you can tell from the other night. Sorry about that, by the way." And she says, "So, what are you?"
Right to the point.
I'm just a lonely boy.
"I'm a lonely boy."
I'm a lonely boy.
Oh, memories.
Are you consulting your character sheet to tell her what?
Well, I was hoping I could link an aspect in here, so that'd be kind of cool. I'm just a
Lonely boy.
just a beast of sorts to hone his skills, seeking out a lair.
Right. Well, I understand. We left the main town where the Malvora family lives, which is out west, and came to New Orleans because New Orleans is a very interesting city. There's a lot of fear here, especially right now. Unfortunately, I believe my other family members, my cousins, the Scavis, have had their hands at work here, and really you don't see as much fear so much as despair.
Can I say Scavis?
Scavis, it's another family of White Court. They feed on despair. Rather an unsavory emotion, if you will. And of course, the wraiths are prominent in Chicago and some of the northeastern towns, and they feed on lust. My family, on the other hand, like I said, we feed on fear. So, yeah.
Okay. You seeking to stake a claim here?
Possibly, I think so, which means we would want to receive any assistance we can in running out any pretenders to the throne here. Not necessarily mortal. We tend to leave mortals alone, but definitely would like to see
They're
how
all the same to
Scabies.
me.
Well, yeah. Hope to see how Scabies maybe moves on somewhere else.
All right. You got a price?
Not yet. Still finding out what the situation is here. House Scabies has been here for a long time, and there are, I think, some red courts in town as vampires as well. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Not so much.
Yeah, I haven't had much dealing with them either, but my other families in the White Court, I'm very familiar with them.
We killed a handful of ghouls last night, but I don't know if that's Red Court.
No, Red Court ghouls actually. There's a large group of ghouls outside of New Orleans that live in the swamps. I also heard there was a large group that lived on the docks, and I think that's kind of near where your warehouse is. So be careful. Yeah, they're kind of nasty characters, strong, fast. Not as strong and fast as we are, but obviously, running in packs, they can be kind of dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Your steaks arrive, and her etouffee arrives, and you sit down and begin eating for a while. She finishes her Bloody Mary, and then orders a.
With the beast form, can I just change
Sure.
a finger into a claw or
Sure.
something like that? Yeah, I'll do that at some point. Just kind of like a flare little trick, let it slip.
Use it to cut your steak.
Yes, I'll use it to cut my steak.
Okay.
And then stick in there and
She kind of raises an eyebrow and then shrugs and goes back to cutting her or eating her etouffee. You don't have to cut it up. The food's good. It's actually pretty good. And you finish up. The waiter asks you if you'd like bread pudding or bananas Foster. That's what they've got right now. They also have a really nice key lime pie. Anything of those.
I'll skip on the dessert.
She said that she'll have the bread pudding. And so they bring the bread pudding out. It's got a nice rum sauce. And you eat dessert. Eventually the dishes get cleared away. And she says, well, Mr. Volt, it is good to have met you formally and to have possibly cleared the air between us. I definitely will be needing your assistance in the future. I hope you don't mind. If I call on you, possibly with an offer for assistance.
I'm sure we could figure out a mutually beneficial arrangement.
I'm sure that we can. And so she says, well, that went much better than I was hoping. I was afraid there might be some little bit of bad blood between us, but I'm glad there isn't. And so she says, well, I have many things to do if we're going to have a more permanent presence in the town. Thank you so much for coming out. Of course, she takes care of the bill because she invited you.
On the receipt, one or whatever, I'll jot my number down. And if you ever need me.
She says, well, thank you very much. And then she stands up and offers her hand to you again. And, you can shake it, kiss it if you want. And then she heads on out the door. And she really is very attractive. You're kind of like, oh, wow, she's very pretty. A little skinny, but, she's nice, yeah.
When you're like, yeah, just jot my number down. If you need me, first thing I thought was you're like, oh, thanks. Just gonna send another dozen people to your house. Just
That's right. Well, she knows where his house is.
Yeah, sure knows where that's at.
Yeah. So you finish up, head on outside. Of course, you've gotten the receipt validated. The valet brings up your car, checks the validation, hands you your keys, and then off you go. Where are you headed now?
I guess back to the house.
All right, back to the thing. It's probably about 1, maybe 1:30. I think the rest of you would probably be waking up by that time. So, who's next?
Well, I was waking up at 11.
Okay, so 11. What are we doing?
I'll get up around then, make a pot of coffee or whatever.
I'm getting the badges and I'm going to the back room and I'm going to do my thing.
It takes maybe an hour to add the armor spell to them, Armor 2. They'll last about a week. Doesn't take a whole lot of time, and it doesn't tire you out at all now that I finally understand how thaumaturgy works. So yeah, doesn't take long.
Okay. I'm also going to look up and do some research, some research on ghouls a little bit.
Okay. Make me a
Lore?
Yeah, let's make a lore check. That's fine. It is on. Yeah. Not a bad roll.
5.
All right, you start looking up ghouls. Ghouls, you are able to find a couple write-ups in one of a bestiary that you got. Maybe it was from the White Court. It's a relatively recent book. It tells you that ghouls must eat raw flesh. It has to be newly killed people. They can distend their jaws. They have claws. You knew all this stuff. One of the other things it says is that they are very hard to kill. So you're going to need to make sure that you use either holy relics or do a lot of damage to them. If their head comes away from their neck, of course, that kills them. That's pretty much it. But they can heal very quickly. They're really hard to kill. Some of them can have superhuman might. It just depends. They're kind of individualistic. They tend to not be terribly bright, but they're not stupid, you know. And again, there are leaders of the ghouls who tend to be smarter, faster, more fun at parties, or something. So yeah.
What do you on the party?
Yeah, right.
So, is her sword considered holy?
Yes, absolutely.
What is mine considered? It's probably not holy.
Magical.
But it's magical. Yeah, but so did you say holy relics and magical things, or just
No,
holy
just
relics?
holy relics.
Okay.
They tend to have a problem with holy items or anything that's been blessed or some things like that. And so her sword, the Sword of the Cross, would definitely qualify as that, which means that they can't really use their superhuman recovery to get rid of those injuries. Normally, they have, you have, what is it, inhuman recovery? They have inhuman recovery too, or maybe it's supernatural.
I have inhuman toughness and inhuman recovery.
Right, so they have something like that. Which means they can get rid of mild consequences? Yeah, mild consequences and stuff like that. I think you can do that as well.
You can recover totally from any consequence, excluding extreme ones, with no excuse besides time.
Right. And then I think you can...
Simply waiting long enough, you heal completely.
Do you also get to the ability to ignore one time per combat?
In combat, once per scene, you may clear away a mild physical consequence as a supplemental action.
A holy relic or something like that, they don't get to clear that away. So it gets stuck on. What are you doing? She's doing some stuff in the back room. Lots of incense and smoke coming out of there. Weird chanting. Bells ringing. Stuff like that. You're kind of going, all right. Well, I don't know what she's doing right there.
I will make a pot of coffee, drink a pot of coffee.
Man, I was just process that because for some reason I thought you were saying that her character was the one doing all that. I was like,
no.
Yeah, so I'll while she's doing her wizard lady stuff, I'll probably just get coffee. I will do like a morning workout routine, just kind of getting blood pumping
Probably grab
for the
your
day.
sword out and run through some of your...
do some drills.
Yeah, I mean, you've had formal training for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, you probably run through some of the sword katas and stuff like that.
And then at some point, when I'm done doing that sort of thing, I will do... I'm looking at my ability.
What are your
this thing.
aspects?
are you going to get Della to throw concrete at you?
Aspects. Are aspects... The face aspects, you mean?
Just yeah.
Yeah. Reggie's rosary. Raises shield against fiery darts of evil. No one's beyond saving. I owe you one. Vengeance is not mine, but thine.
Okay, I'll do that. You're swinging your sword around and stuff like that, and inadvertently smash what looks like kind of an antique teapot. You may hand that back to me if you don't want to do it.
Demons fly out.
I'll let it happen. And I'll just be like,
That'd
Wait.
be perfect.
I mean, yeah.
well, I should have did this outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the little antique teapot, it's kind of this weird Japanese looking little teapot sitting on the mantle of the fireplace, and and just the tip of your sword hits it, and tink, just knocks the little spout off. Okay, and there's the smoke comes out of it. You're like, what is that? And so you're not sure.
She needs some dust. I'm gonna look for some Gorilla Glue.
Okay. Go into the kitchen.
Yes.
You go into the kitchen, looking around and stuff. There is some super glue in one of the cabinets.
Okay. I'll grab some super glue and I will try to fix my mistake.
Okay, you are able to glue it on there. It actually comes up. Your sword's really, really sharp, so it makes a kind of clean cut.
I'm just gonna put that away.
You're a little concerned about the smoke that's coming out of the teapot?
It's still coming out?
Well, yeah, it's kind of a weird, smoky, dusty kind of stuff.
Can I try to plug it?
It smells funny. Yeah, you can.
What's it smell like?
Dirt and dust and...
Not
you're not
sulfuric
sure.
or anything
No,
like that?
no,
Okay,
not
okay.
at all. Not
I'm
at
like,
all.
and it's just smoking out, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Oh man, I hope this is not like a relative of hers. I'm like debating interrupting her, whatever she's doing back there, to tell her about it.
You know when you put too much super glue on a surface, and when you're trying to like hold it there, it keeps like sliding around,
And then your thumb gets into it, and you're stuck.
Oh god! Trying to plug it.
Yeah, well, I think and actually, that seems like you have put too much super glue on it, and it's sliding around, and so you're trying to, and then and you've got it all over your thumbs and stuff like that. At which point, she does come out of the back.
Okay.
Your Aunt Matilda,
No.
when she was buried in a teapot that was very near and dear to you because your aunt was very close to you. It seems like she's broken the spout off of the teapot where Matilda's been buried.
So, I found glue. In a few minutes, it will set.
She's making a mess. It's really bad.
It's not like a gen or something in here, right?
No. That's
Okay.
Just my favorite aunt.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Well.
It finally sets up.
Okay.
So you can come put it
very
back on there.
carefully put it back up.
They have to pry your fingers off.
I'm gonna get a little brush from the kitchen and.
Well, Matilda didn't get out. It just,
That smokiness.
Oh, okay. Just
dust.
some of the
Smoke
extra
coming out.
dust. Matilda didn't get out. She's still in there.
She didn't escape. She's still there.
You never know. With all the ghosts we've been having around here, you might be careful about that.
It's
That's
like,
true.
I'm so sorry, Matilda.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's accidents happen.
They do. I'm gonna do my drills outside from now on.
This outside toy.
Well, how did your
Oh,
Yeah, you finished.
bingo?
here's your badge.
Oh, nice.
It's been re-upped since we seem to be running into lots of
Well, actually,
battles.
remember, she never had a badge. This is her
that's
first
true.
badge.
That's right.
The only people that had badges
What does
were
it give
Bunk
me
and
again?
Volt. So
It's an armor 2.
right,
Oh,
your armor
okay.
2 lasts for about a
It
week.
lasts
That you'll have to
for a week.
redo it. If you want to, you can actually once you get them, once things are a little bit less crazy, you can actually probably make them permanent enough that they would last maybe several months before you have to refix them. But that's
I'll have
once
to
things
research
calm
that
down.
because I only have one refresh point now.
What? What do
I'll
you
have to
mean?
research. I mean, I'm assuming that more goes into that to make it permanent.
No. You just have to have time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you've got an afternoon to work on each badge, well, you can do a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff with them.
Okay.
But just you haven't had an afternoon to do anything besides fight evil.
Right.
Evil. Right.
Evil.
So.
Well, so what time are we supposed to have our rendezvous?
5. You're supposed to meet with Deacon
It's around
Fontainebleau
1.
so that he can offer communion to the good Catholics and at least a blessing to those who are not Catholic. And he said he's also going to try and get local law enforcement involved.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Those who are aware of the
Right,
supernatural
correct,
stuff that goes on
correct.
that maybe they're already using. All right, so I'll say, want some lunch?
Yeah, that sounds great. All I've had is coffee.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to the
little jittery.
fridge. I'm gonna make I think I'll make omelets. I'll make omelets.
Hey.
Make omelets. It takes you maybe 30 minutes or so. 2 nice omelets. I guess your character isn't necessarily allergic to seafood, so you can make probably seafood omelets and stuff like that. So Della goes, "No, I'm making southwestern omelets." There we go.
Yes.
She makes you southwestern omelets. They're very yummy.
That's a
They're very
jam.
tasty. Yep. And you sit down and eat.
omelet.
Funny.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
Ba-ching. Yeah.
I thought you were being like, it can't be good. It's an omelet.
No. I love omelets.
Omelets are yummy. Yeah.
But I-
All right. So you finish up eating. It's probably about 1 o'clock. Just about the time Volt has finished his lunch date. Yes. Which of you two would like to go next?
I figured I'd wake up around 10, honestly.
Okay, all right, around 10. What are you going to do?
Find something to eat. Check the news to see if anything went down at the cemetery.
No, actually, there's no mention on the news. You do need to probably reload your gun.
I need
you
to
did
do
fire
that.
it like 2 or 3 times last night, so yeah, definitely want to get the bullets ready and everything ready for that.
So I want to do that, and I also wanted to check the little Paronetter message board again, and see if anyone's mentioned there being ghouls around the cemetery or not, because I know that a whole lot of stuff before said it was around like the docks and around that area, and if no one said it, just kind of leave a little like, hey, beware.
Yeah. Nobody's mentioning anything about ghouls around the cemetery. They do mention that the ghosts are getting restless, and I think we'd also talked about that some of the Paronetters had disappeared a little bit. No new disappearances of the Paronetters, thank goodness.
Yes.
You type a few replies and things about that to several of the Paronetters to make sure that they have the right information for what they need to know. Nothing major. It probably takes you maybe 15-20 minutes to do that. Not very much.
Yeah, and then the rest of my time, I guess I'll spend just, making more bullets, getting my stuff back in order, and
Right, so you spend some time putting more bullets in the gun, reloading them. You have to use lots of kind of magical reagents to make them do what they're supposed to. But yes, you're able to reload all the bullets. Maybe it takes you 30 minutes to get all the bullets reloaded and put back in there and everything like that. So it's probably around 11:30 now. I'm not sure you're really hungry yet because you've only been up for about a little while.
I honestly got nothing more. That was about the extent of what I wanted to do. So.
Okay. You can kind of knock around the house, watch some more episodes of MASH if you want.
I think that's probably what I'm just going to do.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we had a little bit of downtime.
Oh, right. Exactly. It really has been. By the way, make sure everybody, if you've got any stress bubbles colored in, that you have, uncolored them, because everybody's had a chance to rest up. Also, if you have any minor consequences, they're all gone. Unless only if you've got a major or moderate consequence, or severe or an extreme, do you have to really worry about those. But any mild consequences are gone and stuff like that. All right, so bunk.
Wake up the usual time, noon.
Noonish. Yeah.
Get out of my head.
Practice, coffee practice.
Right.
All that. Kind of go through things. I think I'll go see my grandfather.
Okay.
Just to
That's right. Yeah.
check in on him, see how he's doing. Ask him. I mean, he taught me all this stuff. If he has heard about any weird stuff, that's
your grandfather probably lives in maybe one of the outer areas of the city. Probably he's not a downtown kind of guy. Maybe he lives near Frenchman Street. What would you prefer?
yeah, around there. See,
Okay.
yeah, that's probably
All right. He probably does gigs every once in a while too.
Yeah.
So he lives near Frenchman Street. You go by his house, which is ironically in the same general area as Darwin lives, and you go by and see his house. He's in there. He's watching TV. You knock on the door. He comes and lets you in, and says, "Oh, well, grandson, what can I do for you today? Would you like something to eat? Like something to drink?"
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. Well, let me head to the kitchen. Heads in there, makes a couple sandwiches, BLTs, and grabs a couple beers out of the fridge, and comes in, sits down in the recliner, and you can kind of sit on the couch or one of the overstuffed chairs, and he says, "So, what brings you by?"
Well, let's come by, check on you, and yes, I've ended up with this group of people that are like us, but not like us.
So they are aware of the other world, and maybe wield forces beyond mortal ken.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, it's always better to run in numbers, especially when the larger things out there in the night go thumping around. One of the things that's been good is the Paronetters. have been able to protect each other and look out for each other. He says, you should really look into getting maybe an account on the Paronet.
Okay.
It's kind of a nice area to kind of keep up with what's going on, and you get the feeling that he's got a Paronet account. He says, I've been keeping up with some of the messenger boards and things like that, and it's good to see. There's a lot of people who are concerned about Paronetters who are disappearing.
My new friend said something about that.
Yeah, I would definitely keep an ear out and watch your back mainly, because if they'll go after Paronetters, they'll go after anybody. So be careful out there. But these group of people seem trustworthy.
So far, so good. I mean, we fought some devil man thing and won. And
The Devil Man. Wow, that's a story I've heard growing up in the city. That's kind of interesting. You actually defeated the Devil Man.
I guess it's like apparently we thought we got them, but they showed up at one of the people's houses, and then they beat him again. And then we found this. We had this stick, and the stick was some kind of special thing. I don't know, Solomon, blah blah blah. Did this stuff.
He looks at you and he says, "The Staff of Solomon."
Yeah. And it
Just hold on.
Details,
Hold on.
Breezing past a
He
few
walks over to the bookshelf and he pulls out this book. Hold on one second.
Just the Staff of Solomon, nothing big, you know. Oh, I love it.
Oh, you see how it works?
Yeah, there's some that's like jammed at the end of.
And he pulls out this book. Let me see. What are you doing?
I was fixing something.
Breaking
I was
stuff.
fixing something by breaking it.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you
He pulls out this book, and it's kind of old and dog-eared, and it's a little paperback, and it's by Robert E. Howard.
Okay.
And it's The Savage Tales of Solomon Kane.
Savage Tales.
And he hands you this book, and he says, you should read this. Robert E. Howard was a writer back in the 40s, and he had a character named Solomon Kane who was a Puritan who traveled around defeating evil and demons and things like that. And at one point, he owned the Staff of Solomon. Not sure it'll be really helpful for you to read the book, but it's definitely a good read.
I think it. Yeah.
Yeah, so he hands you this paperback book, and the edges are kind of all yellowed and brown, because it's an old paperback book. And he says, interesting. The Staff of Solomon. Who'd have thought?
I know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the church liked it, so
Yeah. Oh,
Your grandpa's
you gave it to
favorite
the
now.
church.
yeah.
You gave it to the church. Well, good. That's probably a good place for it to be.
Yeah, I figured I'd be safe there.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely don't want it falling into the wrong hands. I don't remember what Solomon Kane ever did with it, but I do remember he lost it at some point or something like that. I think he used it to defeat a city full of cannibals. Yeah, who knows?
Cannibals.
Sounds terrible.
Ghouls are flesh eaters, so you're kind of like
That's even worse than cannibals.
Yeah, well, there you go. He says, So he eats a sandwich for a while, sips on his beer, and he says, "So what else have you been up to?"
That's pretty much it. We're supposed to meet. I don't know some woman tonight at St. Louis Cemetery #1, and I don't know. She's doing some things that's riling up the ghosts around here, and so we're gonna try to stop her from that.
Ghost.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Give me a minute. He stands up, kind of toddles to his feet, wanders into the back part of the house, and I think towards his bedroom. Comes back, and he's got this little brown bag. And he hands it to you and he goes, "Here. This is my Mojo Bag." What are you laughing about?
No, because the first thing that came to my mind was like, comes back to the brown paper. Here you go, my drugs. This is my Mojo Bag.
My Mojo Bag. He says, the loop, put it around your neck, wear it underneath your clothes. It'll keep you safe and protect you from harm, and might even bring you luck. But
I'll take that.
yeah.
I'm all about the luck.
So he hands it to you, puts it over your neck, and it's got this weird little brown bag. He says, just don't open it up, because that'll let the magic out. This was given to me by a voodoo priest probably 20 years ago. Never failed me, but yeah, you can have it. Sounds like you're going to some dangerous places and my time with dangerous places, the most danger I have is getting paid when I'm playing, trumpet.
That is dangerous.
Hard to do.
It's hard to do.
He says, well, finishes his sandwich, says, well, look, don't be a stranger. Come see me again. If you hear any more about the Staff of Solomon, you let me know what happens. And he kind of gets this funny look on his face like, who'd have thought? And he says, but you be safe, be careful. Gives you a big hug on the way out. And then he kind of shows you out the door and goes back to sitting in the recliner watching TV. Interesting. All right. So.
I got Mojo Bag now.
Yeah, Mojo Bag. Mojo. It's got a black cat bone and something, that
smells kind of funny.
Well, that's,
Put some breeze on it or something.
Well, it doesn't smell bad.
Oh, good.
I mean, it's 20 years old. I mean, it actually smells a lot like cigarette smoke and
some breeze in
maybe a few other types of smoke that
yeah.
jazz musicians are around a lot. So
It smells like a bar. So
it does. Probably a beer maybe spilled on it a few times too. So yeah, but it's in pretty good shape. All right, so it's about 1 or 2 o'clock. Who's next on what they're doing for the rest of the day?
I think that's everybody. Yeah.
If we get some time.
5 o'clock is when you're supposed to be at the St. Louis Cathedral, so you've got a few hours.
I'm thinking about going back to the Audubon, to the tree, and
Keebler.
yeah, to the tree, and see if anybody's about. If I see the guy again, I'll just let him know that we discovered some ghouls. I think that's what's been messing.
Okay.
Just because I told him I would let him know if I found anything.
Okay.
And then I want to stop back by Terrence's mom, Clara's house.
Okay.
Check on her.
All right.
You looked at me. I have no idea what you're going to say.
All right. So you hop a streetcar and head down to Audubon Park. You head out into Audubon Park, walk around towards the tree where you met the guy before. I don't know if he ever gave you a name. I don't think he did he?
No, but if I'll just stand by the tree and say, ghouls are messing up the city, I think.
You're standing there, you kind of
walk
lean
away.
around the tree. There's still kind of the tinkling of the wind chimes in the tree. Every time you look up into the tree looking for the wind chimes, you never see them, but you can just hear them kind of blowing in the breeze. You're standing there, you start talking about ghouls, and all of a sudden you hear, well, normally you're supposed to walk around it 3 times Widdershins to summon the Lord of the Hill, but obviously you don't know that.
Might want to write that down.
Circle 3 times.
Widdershins. Whatever the heck that means.
Circle the Widdershins 3 times?
Just walk around the tree
That's a
3
way.
times Widdershins.
Yeah, I could never set up barbecue sauce either.
Yeah,
Either
right.
gotta be,
Worcestershire Widdershins.
That's either going to be a directional term or some method of by which you are supposed to be.
That's a
engaged.
directional term. You just have no idea what that means.
I'll look it up. I'm like, well,
And he's standing there. He doesn't look like he's changed a day. He's wearing the same clothes, standing there. He's leaning against the tree. He's got kind of this funny little snarky smile on his face. And he says, ghouls.
I was just returning the favor with him.
Well, obviously you were. Ghouls would not be able to muck about with the ley lines of this city. I appreciate your attempt, but that's not what's causing my people to have problems.
Okay. I'll
But
continue looking
it's
into
only
it.
been a couple days. Obviously, especially with you mortals, these things take time. You move so much slower than the rest of us.
Thank you.
It's not necessarily a bad thing.
Alrighty. Well, there you go. If I come across anything else, I will let you know.
Well, then, let me give you a piece of information since you told me about the ghouls. Tonight, you are going to meet with some dangerous adversaries.
Yes.
If you can, at all costs, stop the drums.
All right. I appreciate the information.
And he gets this kind of funny look on his face and says, even if there are none.
Get him! Get him! I heard that!
And then he turns around, and this time instead of walking into the tree, he walks around behind the tree, and then he's gone.
I'm going to say that a Wittershin is walk behind the tree 3 times. Walk behind.
But how do you know which side is behind?
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
You know, I figure if he answered this time and I didn't do it right, eventually I'll figure it out.
I could be completely wrong, but I think it's probably doing this, then this, then this, maybe. I don't know. Like a rotary phone.
I'm just saying.
I just think you gotta go and just knock. And knock. Yeah.
So the
Show
last
up on
time,
chainsaws. This
Yeah, we'll come out for that one probably.
Widdershins in a direction contrary to the sun's course, considered as unlucky. It's counterclockwise.
Oh, considered unlucky, huh?
so the first time we ran into this guy was on March 10th. I'm just gonna say that because I put down a thing: mysterious men in parks saying vague things and walking into trees does not make a credible source.
Exactly right. What is the one? Is it was it damp tarts lying in bogs throwing swords at people? Yeah, that's Monty Python. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I think he actually uses not even less nice word for the lady of the lake. But anyway,
I was just laughing at this. That's a phrase.
yeah, he's gone. Yeah.
All right, but hey, I appreciate the information. So I will head to Miss Clara's, just check on her, and then I will head back to my house.
Okay.
I don't know if Miranda's still going to be there.
You
or not,
head
but
to
I'll
Miss
send her.
Clara's. It takes you probably another 30 to 45 minutes to get out there because it's in the 9th Ward. You walk down, of course, the old street. There's kids out playing in the street. Things are getting back to normal again. It's been 5 years since Katrina, but this area is still pretty burned out. You go to Miss Clara's door, knock on the door. Miss Clara comes kind of shuffling to the door and says, Miss Della, now what brings you back to my house?
I just want to check on you to see how you're doing. Do you need anything? Any groceries? Or
No, I've got so many casseroles that people are bringing me. I don't have a freezer big enough right now.
Need any help with your bills?
No. You know, funny thing, Terrence took care of most of that. He had a good job, and I guess he'd made some investments that were paying off.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's been taking care of. Also, that man you told me to avoid, Sidney St. Clair, he's come around a couple times, and I've turned him away. He's tried to offer me a little money, and again, I've turned him away. I told him Terrence took care of all that for me, but he's come by once a day trying to talk to me about certain things.
Good.
So yeah.
Well, look, don't mention my name. Don't talk to him about me.
Oh, no. I just told him, that I don't want to talk to him, that, he's not a good person. And he got kind of mad. I mean, not angry mad, but mad when I said that, and said that I shouldn't be messing about in things that I don't understand. And then the second time I told him that, he said, that's Della telling you those lies. I think that's what he said.
Yeah.
But look, I haven't opened the door to him. He hasn't come in, and so, yeah, he's left me alone. And I certainly won't invite him into my house. He's not welcome here.
Good.
Which, as a practitioner, long as she doesn't invite him in, then the threshold will definitely limit his power. And even this house has been lived in by, a couple boys, her. It's probably got a pretty strong threshold to it, at least a 3 or a 4, which means that if he tries to cast spells, he's got to get it past a +4 block, which means it's going to slow him down a bit.
Miss Clara, has he asked to come in and see Terrence's stuff? Or
No. He just was offering me money a couple times. The last times he's been here, he's asked if he could help out with anything. He actually said he felt kind of bad about Terrence. I don't know. But I believe you, Miss Della, so I have not let him in, and I have certainly not taken any of his money, because you never know what kind of strings that kind of money comes with.
Right. Well, just Be careful of any strangers coming by and trying to come in and visit with you.
Well, I mean, there's always somebody who's trying to come in. Vultures that are circling around when somebody dies.
I know. You're good at watching.
Because they think that somebody's left me some money. And in this case, Terrence did, but I'm smarter than they are. I've been around this block a few times.
Okay.
And she says, "But thanks for checking in on me, Miss Della. You want some lemonade or maybe something to eat or
Sure, I'll have a lemonade. I just finished walking from Audubon Park."
She says, "Well, come on in." And so she, opens the screen door and you come in, have a glass of lemonade. She has some of those little cookies that come in the tins because she says people are bringing those by her all the time. She asks if you want any kind of casserole, if you want to take any home with her. So she's got like 20 casseroles in the freezer.
I'll take one just to help her out.
She hands you looks like a tuna casserole or something like that, and says, "Yeah, just bring me the glassware back, and I'll make sure it gets to the right person." So she sends you home with it. You catch the bus back up, towards your house, and it's probably about 3:30, maybe 4 o'clock by the time you get home. All right, so Miranda, you're knocking around Della's house. Mm-hmm. Della's left.
Literally, no.
I decide to clear out since I don't want to mess anything else up.
You work outside.
So, it is upsetting.
I leave her a note saying I'm going to the cathedral, meet you at the cemetery at 5.
Oh, you meet her at the cathedral at 5.
Cathedral at 5.
Right.
I send out a group text to the boys with an emoji of like
a bunch of weird emojis again.
It's
sounds right.
a series of emojis telling them exactly what the plan is.
Okay.
They'll get it. They get me. And
I'm going to roll an investigation.
No.
I'm going
you don't even get to roll
to
investigation on that one.
What is the second?
That's her story.
Teapot.
Sword,
Oh, the
teapot, crying.
Yeah, see, there it is.
She hit the teapot with the sword, so she's crying. I know this.
She's upset about
She's going
it.
to church to pray and feel better.
I'm going to take a nap.
She's looking around because sheep are watching her.
Yeah.
It says, "I'm sorry for breaking the teapot. I'm going to the church to pray. See you at the cemetery at 5 o'clock."
See you.
I totally
at the
understand.
cemetery. Got it now.
I was like, where's your sheep in there? I understand everything else.
I can't remember their name, but I was thinking the exterminate guys. That's what I thought that thing was. And it was.
This whole time I thought I was going to go to a church to look after the flock before we hit the cemetery.
That's
All
ridiculous.
valid
That's not
translation.
far wrong. I mean,
All
it's
valid
not far.
translation. See, they get me.
That's right.
So I am going to the cemetery. I mean the.
the sword
cathedral.
teapot thing, whatever, but...
Right. She's not far from the cathedral. She's in... Jody, you're in... Where's your house exactly? Is it in the Garden District?
Frenchman.
Near Frenchman Street. Okay. You're near Frenchman Street. You're not... Wait, no, you're in the Garden District. Okay, so...
Yes.
okay, right. So you hop a streetcar. You're able to ride it down to Jackson Square. Again, a lot of the minor practitioners are there. You see Sister Isolde doing tarot readings. You go into the church. Go in... there's no mass going on right now, so you can definitely go down front and pray.
Yeah.
Immediately when you walk in, you can feel just the calm and the peacefulness of the cathedral just kind of wash over you in a wave. And you immediately feel like you just kind of come home. You spend probably 30 minutes pray.
Yeah, 30 minutes,
Okay.
hour, something like that.
So it's about 2:30, 3 o'clock. Any time in particular? Anything you want to do for the last? You've got a couple hours.
Is there anyone here that we spoke to yesterday? Like
You don't see Gabriel Beaumont, and you don't see Deacon Fontainebleau, but he's probably in his office, and Gabriel doesn't hang out at the church, at all hours, so you're not sure.
Okay, well, I was specifically praying about just guidance for tonight. To keep hands on everybody during the fight. I'll light a candle for Terrence. And then I'll just... Is there some lawns on the grounds behind the church? Or...
There is a little area behind the church where there's that kind of there's a statue of Christ and some other stuff. It's not... you can get into it. It is open to the public, I think, during the day. Yeah. You can also go out to the little garden area in Jackson Square where the Andrew Jackson statue is.
I don't want to be swinging my sword around in Jackson Square.
Yeah, maybe not so much.
All right, so that explains so much. Because you're like, is there any lawn anywhere? And he said, yeah, it's got a little thing. It's got the statue of Christ. I saw your face go like... I was like, why was
gonna
that
try
wrong?
that.
That's the time the sword works and slices it in half.
Right. Oh,
Which when it probably stops to work.
I was just gonna go limber up a little bit.
yeah, right.
Wait on everybody to show up.
So you go out to this little area, and it is open to the public, but you could probably close the gate. People go, oh, it's closed, because that's how tourists are. You close the gate, you kind of limber up and run through your sword katas. You do see a couple people come to the gate, kind of look in, see you're swinging a sword around, and immediately walk on, because they're not sure what's going on. And you
Put on the full armor of Christ in here.
That's right, sword of the Spirit. And so you're kind of chilling out doing that. Volt. It's maybe 1 o'clock. What would you like to do?
Test the defenses real quick.
You are able to turn on the faucet, and the water does come out. Yeah, you're thinking, and it basically you've got these run around the bottom floor. Mm-hmm. They're not going to you probably don't want to run them up around the
No,
loft.
I just wanted the bottom.
Yeah, bottom floor. Yeah, bottom floor definitely. You turn it on. It takes it maybe 5-10 minutes to kind of get a good sheen of water over most of the floor.
That's cool.
Okay.
I want it to be slow and gradual.
Yeah. If you turn it off, it'll take another 6 days for it to evaporate because, humidity.
At this point,
It's not going to evaporate at all. It's there forever. Yeah.
Probably not great drainage in here.
Well, no, it's just humidity. Nothing evaporates.
Yeah,
100% humidity. Yeah. Well, you're in New Orleans, which is even worse. Yeah,
right off the coast.
Yeah.
And
below
I guess I'll start until like 4 o'clock or 4:30 before I go down to the cathedral. I'll start tearing stalls out of the bathroom and opening it completely up.
Okay. You're able to do that. You kind of work in there. You got a hammer, sledgehammer. You're knocking those stall walls out. The sinks are...
A sledgehammer. Them things are obliterated.
Yeah. Well, they're hard to take down, but you do it. You now have 2 toilets, a kind of small shower area. The 2 toilets are close enough now that people could use them and hold hands. That's important. Yeah. High five each other.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah. But yeah, you're thinking maybe you probably only need 1 toilet. You may want to get a plumber in to actually seal all that and cap all that off. Yeah. So yeah, for sure.
I'll wait on that.
Yeah, right. You're like I said, you're thinking you probably want to actually build in a bedroom down here. So you kind of make some measurements about where you would want walls to go and some things like that. So it's not too bad. There you go. All right, that takes you probably till about 4, and then you hop in the Impala, put on a clean shirt, maybe take your vest off.
Yeah, then I'll that's when I'll go to the black jeans, black leather jacket, white shirt, mantra thing, whatever.
Gotcha. And so you hop in the Impala and head down there, hopefully to get there by about 5 o'clock. All right, so... Let's see. We've got you to 5 o'clock. We've got you to 5 o'clock. Jody, we've got you
That should be pretty close to 5 o'clock.
Right. So, Darwin, you've been watching reruns of MASH on DVD. Yeah. Around 4:30, you're going to head towards the cathedral.
Sounds good.
Cool. And, all right. 5 o'clock, you all meet up at the cathedral, St. Louis Cathedral. The door is closed. You get to the door and, I guess you probably come toddling around from the back.
Yeah.
Because the door you went on is locked now.
Okay.
You come around to the front. The door is locked, which is a little odd because normally they don't lock the doors to the cathedral. Knock on the door.
It is a special thing.
Yeah. Door opens and Deacon Fontainebleau is in there. He's wearing basically the white acolyte's robes and stuff like that. He says, for tonight... the Archbishop has actually decided he would offer you Mass. It's a closed Mass, so normally we don't let the public in for that, just for various reasons. So come on inside. Goes in, closes the door, locks it back up. You go in, the entire place is empty. There's, a few candles lit, and, of course the lights are on in the actual church area. And you've actually never met the Archbishop Archbishop you've seen him.
Right.
You've been in meetings with him, but you've never really spoken to him. He's a very nice-looking young man.
What's his name?
Oh, you're going to make me look things up.
Sorry.
Okay. No, it's fine. It is Archbishop Gregory Imond. Okay? And that is the actual Archbishop in New Orleans, so, you know. So he's there. He's up at the front. He's wearing his red robes. He's got the little hat on. It's kind of the close hat like there. He sees you down there. He's obviously preparing the elements. And he says, "Come in, please have a seat." Fontainebleau, kind of points you all to your, the front 2 or 3 rows, or the front 2 or 3 pews, I should say. And then he goes up to help with basically the Archbishop. Begin with the basically starting liturgy. There's no music or anything like that, but begin with the liturgy. The Deacon Fontainebleau is over to the side. They go through Lord's Prayer, a lot of things like that. The Archbishop actually offers a short homily about putting on the whole armor of God, which makes you feel kind of happy, and protection, and how God looks out for those who are doing His work. And then he, begins to bless the elements, and the Deacon Fontainebleau rings the little bells, and the Archbishop stands up and says, he takes communion. The deacon takes communion, and he says, "Any of you who are of the Catholic faith are welcome to come up and take communion. The rest of you may come up and receive a blessing."
Communion. Are the police officers here with us?
You haven't seen them yet.
Okay.
You go up to the front. Those who are Catholic are offered the wafer.
Probably just run up in the
Right, and actually, and then those of you who are not, if you walk up, he blesses you and says, "Go with God's blessing, my son, my daughter," those different things. Takes maybe about 30 minutes. This is the abbreviated form of the Mass, and he's pretty quick with it. And then he finishes up, and he comes down off the kind of little steps, and he steps in front of you, and he says, "Deacon Fontainebleau has told me that you are going to be doing the Lord's work tonight. I want you to know that you have my blessing and the Lord's blessing as well. I wish you the best. Be safe. There are not many who would stand against the forces of darkness, and we need all of them who we have." And then he, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, he, kind of heads back towards the little chair that's in the back and sits down. Almost immediately after that stops, the back door opens, and in come walking 5 people. Today on the Dresden Download, we're going to talk about the Paronet. Now, the Paronet is an organization that was formed back in the book Small Favor. What had happened was the White Court vampires were targeting women practitioners of minor talents and were killing them because they didn't want them to give birth to wizards. And so a group of women named the Orbo Letus got together and decided to band together to protect themselves. By the end of the book, basically, the Ordo Libus had decided to form something called the Paronet. And the Paronet is a group of practitioners who are minor talents and have to be able to use computers. And basically, they get on the internet and they report, they have bulletin board systems, they talk to each other, but mainly they get together and can actually do quite strong spells because they work together as a group. They also share information, give self-defense classes, and basically take care of each other because they don't have the strength or power to become a member of the White Council. Anyway, they're a huge organization. Generally 10,000 people is what it's estimated are members of the Paronet. Waldo Butters at one point calls them the hive mind. Anyway, that's what the Paronet is. It's a loose organization of minor practitioners who use the internet to connect, share information, and defend each other.